Hello everyone, especially to our course facilitator in EDAD 202, Organization and Management, Dr. Desideria O. San Luis. I am Sweden F. Hilarion, and I am going to discuss about controlling. Before going further, let us have first the objectives of this topic. So number 1, we will define what is control. 2, explain the purpose of control. 3, identify the types of control. Number 4, describe the steps in the control process. So now we will talk about first what is control. So according to Henry Fayol, control consists in verifying whether everything occurs in conformity with the plan adopted, the instructions issued, and the principles established. Also, we have a definition from Coates and O'Donnell. Controlling implies measurement of accomplishment or performance against the standard and the correction of deviation to assure attainment of the objectives according to plans. And when we said controlling as a management function, it is a process of monitoring performance and taking action to ensure desired results. Also, it sees to it that the right things happen in the right ways and at the right time. It is done well. It ensures that overall directions of the individuals and groups are consistent with short and long-range plans of organization. It also helps ensure the objectives and accomplishments are consistent with one another through an organization. And lastly, it helps maintain compliance with essential organization rules and policies. Next, we are going to discuss about the importance of control. Number 1, guide to operations. Means you have to measure progress, uncover deviations, and indicate corrective actions. Number 2, policy verification. In here, you are going to verify quality of various plans, helps to review, revise, and update plans. And lastly, helps to carry out the plans successfully. Another importance of control is the managerial accountability. Manager responsible for ultimate performance. Managers check performance of subordinates, control and help them to discharge their responsibilities, and facilitates decision making and better management. We also have here employee morale. Controls and brings order and discipline. Absence of control to lower employee morale. Last but not the least importance of control are coordination in action and psychological pressure. So in coordination in action, actions according to plans, right direction, correct interrelationship between various factors, balance between ends and means. In psychological pressure, it means motivates employees to perform better through rewards and recognition. Moving forward are the types of control on an organization and management. So there are 3 types of control on the basis of time of action. Number 1 is the feed-forward control, wherein we anticipate the problems. Second is the concurrent control, wherein we correct problems as they happen. And lastly is the feedback control, wherein we correct problems after they occur. As you can see in the feed-forward control, this is where the input, as it goes to concurrent, it becomes the process. And lastly is the feedback control, which is the output. So what is this feed-forward control? Or as they say, preliminary. So sometimes called the feed-forward controls. They are accomplished before a work activity begins. They make sure that proper directions are set and that the right resources are available to accomplish them. So next we have the concurrent control, wherein it focuses on what happens during the work process, sometimes called the steering control. They monitor ongoing operations and activities to make sure that things are being done correctly. Last but not the least is the feedback control or the post-tactation, sometimes called feedback controls. They take place after an action is completed. They focus on end results as opposed to inputs and activities. Next is the steps in control process. As you can see, there it is the objectives. We have the standard, the measure performance, compare performance to standard, and the corrective action. So for us to be able to understand deeply the process of control, so we are going to describe those processes. So number one is to establish objectives and standards. In here, performance objectives are defined and the standards for measuring them are set. So there are two types of standards, the output standards and the input standards. Next is the measure of actual performance. In here, you have to spot deviations or variances between what really occurs and what is most desired. Next is the comparing of results with objectives and standards. In here, you have to establish the need for actions. Ways of making comparison like historical or relative and benchmarking. And lastly is the taking corrective action. In here, you have to take any action necessary to correct or improve things. So that ends my report. I hope you have learned something about my topic, and if you have any questions, feel free to call me on my mobile number, or you can send me a message through my email or even reach me through my Facebook account. Thank you.